Hello all and welcome. We are very glad that you have all joined us for this webinar. Before we start, I would like to invite you people to drop your queries in the question and answer box on the left side of the screen throughout the webinar. All right. So today in this webinar, we are planning to address a few critical aspects of a successful Amazon Shopify business across the globe. This also includes useful strategies for the first and second quarter of 2022. I'm Ume Hani, acting as the e-commerce content lead at CedCommerce. And joining us from Dubai, we have the founder and head of business development of Amazon Seller Society, Crystal Abiasi. She is also a certified Blue Ocean business strategist from NCER University and an international speaker, and is widely regarded as an industry expert who is asked to share actionable intelligence on how Amazon works and how sellers can improve their business. Welcome, Crystal. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Umi. Let me start my camera as well. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. So as is customary, this is how I always start any webinar that I'm part of. Please do let us know, even though this is a Q&A section, but please do let us know where you are joining us from. It's so interesting to find that, you know, everybody comes from a different part of the world, yet we are able to join together here in one browser. How cool is that? So please do let me know in the Q&A, wherever you can, just let me know where you are joining me from. Are you in, I know most of you are from Dubai. If not, where are you joining us from? So we've got a very, nice, from Germany, India. Hey, Jimmy, Canada, fantastical, great. So I'll just give you a brief introduction about myself, but mostly I want to be talking about two of my most favorite subjects in the world. I've got a lot of favorite subjects. All of them revolve around business, but the main thing is I love strategy and I love selling on Amazon. So those are the things that we are going to be focusing on tonight. And I hope the information that I'm going to be giving you starts, providing you with ideas to build a successful business for yourself. So let me share my screen so we can go ahead and start with our presentation. And there we go. I believe you are able to see my screen. Let me just double check. Umi, can you just let me know if you guys are able to see my screen? Yeah,
Definitely, yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So Amazon, Shopify, businesses. So we're trying to integrate both those things because we feel, myself and CedCommerce as well, that those are two very essential and vital places for you to be selling on as an e-commerce seller. It's natural to start on Shopify and then migrate over to Amazon or vice versa. They're not similar in any way, shape, or form, but they're very complementary to each other. So once we decided, myself and the team at CedCommerce, we thought, okay, what are we going to talk about to help you and to help, sellers a little bit more? And we decided we want to bust some myths that most people have around selling in Q1 and Q2, and maybe get you started on that. So this is Umi. She introduced herself. She is the e-commerce content lead, and she is specialized in Amazon, just like myself. And this is me. You can see me as well. So I'm the founder and the head of business development. My company is called Amazon Seller Society. That's how much I love Amazon. I shoved the name into my company. So we are based in primarily in a city which I think most of you have heard of, but some of you have not visited yet. I'm not talking about Dubai. I'm talking about Tallinn, Estonia. So we are very proud to be part of the digital revolution that's happening currently in Tallinn in Estonia. And we are mainly an Estonian company, but we also, because we are focused in the Middle East, we also have a headquarters in Dubai where I am currently now. Now you might think, why are you, Crystal, in Dubai? It's because the weather in Tallinn today is -12. So would you blame me that I want to stay in Dubai when the weather is 25, 27 degrees? I'm sure you don't blame me. So I split my time between the two offices. And the beauty of working digitally is that, you can do everything online these days. You don't even have to be physically with your team in the same office. So we're going to be talking about, like I said, Amazon, Shopify businesses, both things. I believe the information that I'm going to be giving you is going to work whether you are an Amazon seller, whether you are a Shopify seller, whether you are both, whether you intend to, if you are an Amazon seller and you intend to start on Shopify, and vice versa. They are just strategies that we need to think about and that can get you ready for Q1 and Q2 of 2022. Why are we focusing so much on Q1 and Q2 of 2022? It's because a lot of sellers, and we hear this all the time, and that's why we decided on this particular subject, by the way. We hear all the time that people feel that Q1 and Q2 are normally dead. After a successful Q4, there's so many things that happen in Q4. The holiday season, Black Friday, in the Middle East, we call it White Friday. So many different things happen and so many different events that you might see a very significant increase in your sales. And then what happens in Q1? There's no significant event that happens in Q1 or Q2. So you might assume, you might be right, but you might be of the mindset of, oh, I'm going to see low sales in Q1 and Q2. We don't want you to think this way, because if you think this way, then you're going to succumb to this conclusion and you're going to be like, yeah, that's it. That's what's going to happen. But if you strategize and if you are prepared for before you actually need to be prepared, then you will sail through Q1 and Q2 and beat the competition every single time. And that's why we're talking about this subject tonight. So let's talk about the opportunity on Amazon. And these numbers are in particular for Amazon in the US. If you are currently, the reason why we're doing them for Amazon in the US, because it's the easiest to get numbers from, and it is the biggest marketplace for Amazon. So if you are thinking, should I sell on Amazon? Look at those numbers. Obviously, if this is happening in Amazon.com, it's also happening worldwide. If you're thinking, should I be part of the e-commerce ecosystem? Look at these numbers. So the net revenue, this is in 2021 for Amazon, is 386 billion. It's just a number that is honestly unfathomable. So it's a number that you can't actually, it's honestly such a big number that it's something we basically can only dream of. This is the number that Amazon is making in revenue, which means sales. This is how much Amazon is generating in sales in 1 year. And the net income out of that is 21.33 billion. Now that looks like a very small number, but it's still a very, very, very big number. The brand value of Amazon currently is 684 billion. Be careful. The company value is in the trillions, of course, but the brand value of Amazon is 684 billion. That's why a lot of sellers decide to start their journey on Amazon, because you've got a company that is valued so much by its customers that it's kind of impossible to compete with it as just a Shopify seller. So obviously there's so many perks of selling on Amazon. That's why it should be a sales channel that you either migrate to, you use as part of your selling journey, or you can be just focused on it. It doesn't matter, but it should be something that you should look at. And you should remove the idea of, oh no, it's very saturated. No matter how much is saturated, look at the numbers that sellers are able to make. We're going to be discussing in the webinar 3 main things. First of all, like Umi kindly introduced me, I am a blue ocean strategist. I'm going to explain to you what that means. When people hear blue ocean, it might feel like it's something related to marine life or something like that. It has nothing to do with it. So I'll explain to you what it is and how it can help you transform your business. We're going to talk about quickly the typical Amazon consumer. 4 main things that you need to know about the typical Amazon consumer. And all of that information is going to dramatically help you and give you the upper hand and advantage and help you make the right decisions for your business today, in Q1, in Q2, or whenever you decide to start selling. And of course, some actionable tips and strategies to implement in Q1 and Q2 of 2022. But let's first of all start off with Blue Ocean strategy. Why am I starting off? And what is Blue Ocean strategy exactly? So Amazon, I'm sure you don't hear this a lot, but I believe that Amazon is a blue ocean of opportunity if you know how to navigate it. So the idea behind Blue Ocean, I'm going to jump into it in a second, but the idea behind Blue Ocean is that you can be a seller in a blue ocean, in a marketplace, and it doesn't mean geographically by marketplace. It doesn't mean like geographically selling in the Middle East or geographically selling in India or anywhere. You can be a seller, let's say, that's selling in a blue ocean where you're swimming all by yourself and not competing head to head with other sellers, unlike sellers that are selling in a red ocean where they're having to compete head to head with other sellers. That's the idea of blue ocean. Imagine that you're sitting on an island somewhere and the weather is absolutely wonderful and the water is turquoise blue. That is what Blue Ocean strategy, or the mindset of Blue Ocean strategy, can help you with. And the whole idea is thinking outside of the box. That's really what Blue Ocean strategy is all about. These are the founders of Blue Ocean strategy. So I discovered Blue Ocean strategy through my business mentor in, I believe it was maybe 2015 or 2016. W. Chan Kim and Renee Mauborge. Renee Mauborge is the lady and W. Chan Kim is the gentleman. They are economics professor at INSEAD University. INSEAD University is the #1 business school in Europe. At least it was when I went there. I believe now it's #3, but it's okay. We're gonna forgive them for that. So I discovered Blue Ocean strategy because they wrote a book and they published it. And I discovered this book through my business mentor. He just gave me the book and I fell in love with the idea of Blue Ocean strategy and I implemented it into my business. And in 2018, I was so in love with this concept that I actually went to INSEAD because there's a special school that is dedicated to Blue Ocean strategy. And I studied with these 2 professors and I became a certified Blue Ocean strategist. So I know everything about it. But the idea of it is as simple as that. If you look at the bottom, it's about, like we said, creating uncontested market space. It does not mean you have to invent something. It does not mean you have to be an inventor. It's just the whole idea of a mindset shift, looking at things differently and implementing things outside of the box. That's the idea of Blue Ocean strategy. So you can move away from competing head to head with other sellers. All the strategies that I'm going to give you tonight, they're very much related to Blue Ocean strategy. The idea of Blue Ocean strategy, again, is to create and capture new demand. That is something that's very important. Again, it does not mean you have to invent a product. You can sell an everyday product. You just need to angle it differently. We're going to see that in a second. Instead of exploiting existing demand. The idea, this is very important, is that you want to break the value cost trade-off. So in all of customers' mindset, in your mindset, when you go to purchase a product, you have the concept of how much is the value of this product and does the price match the value attached to it? That's how we purchase a product. If we find that the value is so high and the price is low, then we're very happy because it makes us feel like we're getting a good deal. It makes us feel like we're getting so much for so little. Think about all of those mega meals that these fast food companies develop, Like they develop these fast food meals where you get a burger and fries and 2 drinks and I don't know, whatever, for such a small selling price that it makes you feel that you're getting some fast food restaurants even call them value meal or family value meal. It makes you feel that you're getting so much, but you're spending so little. This is what we want to break, because if this exists all the time, then we are doing the same exact thing like every other seller is doing. And how are we going to compete with other sellers other than by lowering our selling price? And who wants to lower their selling price? We want to be making as much money as possible. So the idea is blue ocean strategy, or thinking in a blue ocean way, helps you to break that value cost trade-off by simply injecting so much value into your product that no matter what you sell the product for, customers will still want to purchase it. Imagine if that could happen to you. How fantastic would that be? Yes, it can. It's not going to be easy. I promise it's not going to be easy, but it is something that you can pursue and something that you can develop as well. Let's move on. So let's talk about what currently consumers on Amazon are doing. And it is very important to know what currently consumers are on Amazon are doing, and or rather how they are behaving. We're going to touch, we're going to go in depth a little bit with one of those things once we move on to our strategies. But I just want you to see one thing is so important that it was mentioned twice by Amazon. So this is an Amazon consumer report that is put out by Amazon every single year during Q4, and it's shared online for everyone to see. So 2 main things that Amazon really focused on this year is delivery. As you can see, these are statistics that are from Amazon.com, Amazon US, but obviously they are the same whichever Amazon marketplace you are selling in, especially if you're selling in the Middle East. Number 1, 66% of customers preferred to purchase Prime because they like the fast delivery. Second metric, also very similar, most important reason for US users to shop on Amazon, fast and free delivery. Obviously, it's free if you are a Prime member. So that gives you the conclusion of what? Wherever you are selling, if you are selling on your own Shopify store, if you are selling on your Amazon store, you need to make sure that you provide fast delivery to the customer. Sending a product and having it arrive within 5 days feels like a lifetime for someone, and it makes them really upset. Even if they're not going to use it the next day, they want to have it in their possession the next day. And this is, I believe, something that it has become this way, I believe, because we have become accustomed to this. We send a WhatsApp message, it arrives directly. We send an email, it arrives directly. We post a picture on Instagram, we want those likes quickly. So it's like a dopamine hit. It's the same thing psychologically for a consumer. When they pay money, remember, they're purchasing a product because of a few images that they see. When they pay money, they want to feel that, they want to see the product instantly because it gives them this rush of dopamine. So telling them the product is going to arrive after 7 days is not going to be something that's going to motivate people, or at least almost 66% of people. So whatever you are doing, whatever system that you are following, you want to make sure that those products arrive as fast as possible to your customers, because that's going to make them happy. If it makes them happy, then it's going to make your life happy, because they're going to want to purchase again from you. They're going to want to recommend you to their friends. Would you ever recommend a bad experience to your friends and family? Of course not. The best aspect of Amazon customer service in the US, rapid response to complaints. So contrary to popular belief, people like to be taken care of. We think customers just purchase the product, they want to be left alone, maybe because we don't want to involve ourselves with the customer service mess. But actually, people want good customer service, and good customer service really stands out in people's mind. We're going to develop this a little bit further, this strategy into how you can develop it into something similar to what we talked about in Blue Ocean. And I added this last one because I feel most people now, they kind of feel ashamed if they're doing ads. They kind of feel it's like a negative thing if they are doing ads. But I wanted to show you that US shoppers finding Amazon sponsored ads helpful, 31%. So I don't want you ever to feel that you're doing a mistake if you are advertising. At the end of the day, if you are advertising the product properly to the right audience, it's only going to be helpful for them instead of being annoying. The annoying part is when you try to target, and that's the beauty of doing PPC ads on Amazon. The annoying thing is when you try to target people that are not not even interested in the product. And the beauty of PPC ads on Amazon is that that normally does not happen. You normally target people that are searching for your product, and you just showcase your product in front of them. And why would that not be helpful? So this is how the consumer behavior right now in 2021, and this is what's going to move on forward with us to 2022. This is how consumers are behaving on Amazon currently. So let's get ready to conquer Q1 and Q2 2022. I've got 3 strategies for you. Let's talk about them. I'm going to tell you about the strategy, and I'm going to show you some examples as well. So the first thing that you need to do is I always suggest that you do this before you need it. It's very important in business, especially in a competitive environment like Amazon and like e-commerce in general. It's very important to be ahead of everyone else if that is possible. And that's why you need to do this before you actually, by this meaning evaluate your branding, before you actually need to. What does evaluating your branding basically mean? Like, does your logo look good? No, it goes a little bit further than that. So we want to do, first and foremost, situational analysis for your products, which means a market analysis with your customers' data, segmentation, market needs analysis, and market forecast. This is a little bit tough for you to do if you only sell on Amazon, because as you know, you don't technically know who your customers are on Amazon. But you can do a forecast. You can do a market analysis without even looking at your consumer base on Amazon. And you can do an analysis and try to figure out who, what, when, where, and how do they purchase your product. Being this specific is sometimes scary. Don't worry, I'm going to give you an example if this doesn't seem like you're understanding what I'm talking about. But being specific is kind of scary because when we sell a product, we want everybody to buy it. But being vanilla, being everything to everyone will definitely not work in 2022. It's not even working now. You want to be specific. So you want to target a certain group of people, and then everyone else will come in to that circle as well. So you want to be number one for some people, and then the bigger circles will also be interested with you rather than being just another product. So let me give you an example. So as you might be quite aware that this is one of the best-selling products right now in Q4, potentially in December. So this is a cheese board with a knife set. Some of them come with a knife set, some of them don't come with a knife set. It's beside the point. So this is a cheese board. This is something that a lot of people purchase for Christmas, New Year, Thanksgiving in the US, so many holidays, because the weather becomes a little bit chilly. You want to have cheese, you want to have wine. If you drink wine, you want to enjoy that. If you are a seller of this particular product, what are you going to do in Q1 and Q2 of 2022, when the weather becomes better, when there's no New Year's Eve, when there's no Christmas, when people maybe potentially are back in lockdown? I hope not, but let's assume like the worst thing that can happen. And people are not doing these types of parties anymore. And maybe they're eating this food, but they're not doing these types of parties. What are you going to do, and how are you going to change yourself? Well, doing a market analysis and knowing exactly and specifically who, how, when, what, all of those things about your customer can help you evaluate your branding. And your branding on Amazon or in e-commerce are your images. So look at this really smart seller. And this seller has evaluated, this is also a cheese board. It's actually much less sophisticated than all of the other cheese boards that we saw. And this seller, I'm showing you on the left side or the right side, depending on how you're looking at this, but the image that has the Santa, gingerbread men, the Christmas cookies, this seller evaluated that the person that is buying their product is a female in mid to late 30s. She's a mother and she has at least 1 or 2 children, and she's a baker maybe or something like that. She's a host basically, and she would be using this instead of like everyone else just saying, yeah, you can use it as a cheese board. Why not try to differentiate yourself and create something as simple as adding Christmas cookies? Of course, this is not something that needs to continue after Christmas. That's why I have this other image. Potentially after Christmas, they will change it. But you've got so many different ways that you can make changes to that particular main image just to differentiate yourself from everyone else. But you cannot do those changes unless you are very specific and you know exactly who is the person that might be interested in this product. Who would purchase this product? Is it a woman or is it a man? Is it somebody in their, is it a teenager, or let's say maybe somebody in their 20s, or is it somebody in their 30s? Because marketing a product for somebody who is in their 20s, who is unmarried, who is basically just starting out their life, is very, very different than marketing a product for somebody that is in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 50s, because like it or not, our lifestyle changes. So this is very important to know, and that's why you need to evaluate your branding. And you need to decide how you can differentiate yourself and how you can target your audience. Analyze your operations, strategy number 2. So in e-commerce, it's very important to look at our predecessors. And the predecessors to e-commerce are retailers. Retailers are just as smart and developed really smart systems that we can look at and we can learn from. A retailer is basically just like you, somebody that sells products, but they sell them in brick and mortar stores, in a physical store, and they have physical contact with their customers. That's the only difference. They can maybe sell easier because they sell face-to-face and customers can touch and see the product. So I believe it's easier. But at the same time, the inconvenience, you guys all know what the inconvenience is for going to a store and all of that. So let's look at 3 main key findings for successful retailers. First and foremost, leading retailers are much better than others at collecting data, measuring the activity that they are doing, acting on those insights, and then measuring again to see those results. Now, you might be asking, how on earth am I going to collect data? How am I going to be able to measure my activities? I just sell on Amazon. I'm going to show you how you can do it. Retailers that most actively engaged their customers were the most successful. Remember the metrics that we saw just a few minutes ago about, customer service? Customers do want to be engaged. They do want our support. They want to be taken care of. They don't want to feel like they purchased the product and nobody reached out to them. They actually do like it, as long as it's not annoying, of course. Retail field managers are spending too much time on administration and not enough time in the field. I wanted to add this, even though it makes maybe no sense to you as somebody selling in e-commerce, because I want to remind you that you should be spending time selling and less time on administrative work. Any administrative work is basically just that. It's administrative work that takes up a lot of your time, but does not give you a return on investment. these small administrative tasks. You need to learn how to do them, but you can later on invest in somebody to help you do them. The most important thing is for you to focus on how you can strategize in order to become successful, basically being actively engaged in selling and not thinking about all of those administrative work things. Just let me give you an idea. That's why I love the FBA model, because it provides all of the things that we talked about, fast delivery, all of that, Prime, all of that. But it also removes a lot of administrative work. You don't have to pick, you don't have to pack, you don't have to take care of the delivery. You don't have to do all of that. Amazon can do that, and you can focus on building your business. So collecting data, let me give you an idea of how you can collect data and how you can also engage with your customers. And this idea is very much related to the third and final strategy. So analyzing your operations, like we said, this is something that you see most sellers adding now into their products, which is that we call this an insert card, we call it a thank you card. As you can see, we're just thanking the customer for their purchase, and we're asking them to leave us a positive review if the product met their expectations. And that's it. Honestly, if you were a customer, what are the chances of you leaving a review based on this card? I think it's, slim to none. We're busy people. We don't have time. There's no interaction between us and the seller. Like, it means nothing for us. But knowing what we know now, knowing that we want to capture our customers' data, especially if we sell on Amazon, and knowing that people want to be taken care of and want to have good customer service, what if we change our mind and we give this type of card? We add this type of card where we also thank the customer for supporting us, and we also thank the customer for being, for purchasing the product. Yes, if they leave us a review, then that's fantastic. But what if we tell them, we would love to see our products being used. Just use the product and tag me on social media. Those are my, this is my shop name. Just hashtag or tag me, just use the product. People are going to be interested in doing that, especially if you add some type of incentive for them doing that. So let's say, use it, tag me, we will repost your story or whatever, or your post, and you will enter a giveaway to win a special prize. So people will do that, number one. Number two, you will get free promotion. Number three, you are actively engaging your customers. You're going to know who they are because they're going to do this, and they're going to actively maybe also follow you on social media, or at least if they tag you, you can follow them and invite them to follow you. So you'll know who they are, you'll know what they do, and then you can take care of them and remarket to them, upsell to them, do all of that. This is just a simple way of getting your customers' data in a very interesting and fun method, rather than doing the same thing like everybody else, which just simply ask them to leave you a review. Lastly, gratitude. Gratitude is a very important thing, especially when it comes to customers. By gratitude, it means that, one of the main things that sellers fail to do is to thank customers, other than just add a thank you card and say thank you for your purchase. We want to thank our customers. We want them to feel how grateful we are because they're supporting us and they're buying from us. Now, that would be ideal if you have a mailing list. And you can do that also in the previous strategy. You can ask them to, for example, sign up to your newsletter, where you can send them some tips and tricks to how they can use your product or how they can benefit from the product that they just purchased, something along the lines of that. So if you have a mailing list, then that would be fantastic, because you can blast out an email. And this definitely is something that you can do if you sell on Shopify. But let's assume you don't. Let's assume you are selling on Amazon and you're just starting out with these strategies. What can you do during what we think is a downturn, which is Q1 and Q2, that can set you apart? Obviously, like I said, you can offer deals in emails or on Amazon, or hold special sales events. Why do we need to wait for Amazon to create a special sale event? We can create our own. So if you are selling a silk pillowcase, like, how can you differentiate yourself? You're selling a silk pillowcase. So many other people are selling the same silk pillowcase. Everybody says that their silk pillowcase is the best. Everybody says 100% mulberry silk, 27 mummy. Everybody says that it's good for your hair and your skin. Like, everybody has a hidden zipper. It's technically the same thing by everyone. It's just repackaged differently. And for you as a customer, you're definitely going to look at the value cost trade-off. And we want to try as much as possible to break that. So what you can do is, remember, this whole strategy is about gratitude. How about in January? Yes, of course, you can do this type of coupon, but how about you explain why you're doing this type of coupon? How about in January, you can add this as your secondary image and say, thank you to all our customers. We're so happy because you are our customers. We had a brilliant Q4. We had a brilliant year. And we want you to enjoy a 20% discount during the month of January 2022. And just add a little bit of a review from your customer. This is something that we created. That's why it's not fantastic. It doesn't look 100% perfect for Amazon, or for your website, but at least you're creating some kind of urgency because you're saying the 20% discount is only in January, and it is mingled with gratitude, which is our third strategy. Gratitude to the customer, making them feel like they are special and thanking them for supporting you, even if they haven't bought anything from you yet. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is also very similar to how we started the session, is the 4 main contributing factors. What are the 4 main contributing factors? This is not related to Amazon only. This is related to e-commerce. E-commerce consumers are looking for free and fast delivery. So this is, again, related to e-commerce consumers, no matter where they are purchasing from. 71% of people want free delivery. I don't know what the other percent want, but I assure you they want free and fast delivery. It should be much higher than 71%. 58% care about the price and they want a really good price. 57% want free returns, and this is something that is also available on Amazon, of course, and you can make it available on your own Shopify store. When you see that 57% of people really care about returns, and 56% of people want delivery time under 5 days. So if it's not free, it's okay. But if it's a long delivery time, 56% of people are simply not gonna be happy. So now that you are armed and equipped with all of that information, if you want any additional support with your Amazon business, with your e-commerce business, please feel free to reach out to me. My own personal email is hello@assmiddleeast.org, and our website is www.assmiddleeast.org. And that's it.
Thank you, Crystal, for such deep insights. It was really wonderful.
Thank you, Umi.
All right, continuing the exciting session, let's move on to analyze the e-commerce troughs and peaks of the year. So for that, I'm going to share my screen now, and let's start. So established through the years of data, the sales as observed are the highest during the holiday season. In fact, almost 40% of the annual sales volume is covered alone in the fourth quarter every year. Whereas the first quarter of the year sees the smallest amount of sales due to several reasons. Every year, by the time holiday season arrives, 68% of the families do not feel financially ready for all the shopping spree coming their way. This pressure increases in severity by the end of the season. This results in the unwillingness of buyers to spend as much money immediately after the season ends, and the crazy shopping spree comes to an end. Another interesting reason behind the downfall in sales post the month of January is seen during the summer months when people have more fun on their minds rather than spending time online. Sellers usually end up with a budget plan that focuses more on the peak season. And with that, they end up leaving the slower months alone. This is something that extends to the strategies and the planning as well. Leaving out some parts of the year further adds to the dip in the sales and reach during the already slow months. This behavior extends further as customers become more careful in when and where they make shopping decisions. Before the pandemic, as per the studies done for years before 2020, it was observed that sales during January dipped as low as 30% of what it was in the December previous year. As the pandemic hit the world, the pattern shifted and behavior modified, with people depending on e-commerce for not just luxuries or fun, but essentials including groceries, fresh products, pharmaceuticals, home decor, DIY, kitchenwares, cleaning supplies, etc. And with that, a lot of the previous facts became myths. As it was observed in the year 2020, months immediately after the onslaught of the COVID-19, the sales were already comparatively higher than the ones observed during the January 2019. The January month of 2021 turned 10 times more sales than what was observed in 2019. Between March 2020 to January 2021, experts observed a year-on-year growth of more than 74%. Hence, the fact that January used to be a slow month is no longer viable. Given the internet penetration, accessibility, and opportunities, it has become a story of the past. Much profits have been observed during the month of January, especially due to the large number of sales, high discounts, and whatnot. Sellers run clearance sales to clean up the products they stocked in great quantities during the holiday season. It is absolutely crucial for the sellers to know the troughs as well as the peaks of the shopping. Before the pandemic, during the weekdays, Mondays and Thursdays were the busiest time for the shopping. Whereas after the pandemic, the pattern shifted. Now, more people go online and shop for the products they are interested in on Wednesdays and Thursdays. A new trend is being observed in the name of payday sales, where people start shopping right after they receive their salaries. This peak lasts between the last few days of the month, 29th bearing the highest volume, whereas the sales volume becomes the lowest near the 21st of each month, a time when most people are low on funds. Prior to the pandemic, the peak shopping hours were between 8 to 9 p.m., increasing rapidly as the evening rose. Whereas, special credits to work from home situation, the spike in sales have been observed during the period of 10 to 11 a.m. as well as 8 to 9 p.m. nowadays. E-commerce is ever growing across the globe. Alone in the US, it is expected to cross $740 billion by 2023. While the shoppers are out there looking for quality products and e-commerce is on the rise, what is it that possibly causes the fall in the sales volume? It could be credited to a lot of reasons. Free shipping is one of the most preferred experiences for customers everywhere. Furthermore, a few players find it difficult to beat the competition and stand above the crowd. The market has so many sellers with the same set of products vying for the same pool of customers. But it would do you good to know that Amazon is bagging the major part of the market. One advice I always give to the sellers is to step into the shoes of their customers and think of what it is that they want the most. What would be highly convenient and motivating for them to make a purchase? For example, customers in the US prefer PayPal over most of the payment methods. Hence, multiple payment options are crucial. There are several other performance factors for e-commerce stores, which merchants need to consider if they want to keep the sales afloat. This includes accurate product or delivery services, clear transaction policies, simple and unambiguous purchase transaction, ease of navigation and search on their websites, quick loading times, transaction privacy, transaction safety, online interactivity between the buyer and seller, and a few more. In addition to all of this, a marketing strategy that leads to a weaker reach and visibility on different platforms will just suck up your resources or not yield profits. An effective marketing strategy is the one where you manage to trend on social media and its ineffectiveness is recognized by the lack of traffic driven through these platforms. While these are the two ends, there is a third extremely unwanted outcome, that is unintentionally catching negative attention. This can never be emphasized enough that customers want quality experience over anything. The customer retention rate is dependent on good customer experience 96% of the time. Out of every 10 customers, 8 find good experiences while shopping online as the most influential motivator. Not having a quality customer service experience leads over 36% of the customers to leave a brand. While there are an infinite number of things to tackle, when will you get the time to do the actual storekeeping and maintenance, inventory and order management, and other such daily operations? Putting focus on one will lead you to lose on the other, and vice versa. Having the support of a good user-friendly automation solution for your business settles so many day-to-day redundant operations for you that you reach optimum time and resource management without any manual efforts on your end. The biggest reason for a dip in the business comes when you fail to understand what to sell, whom to sell, and when. So here's the challenge. How to make sure that this year's troughs also yield you peak profits. The first thing you need to do is open multiple gates to your customers to reach your products. Expand your Shopify stores to platforms where people are eagerly willing to spend their money. While researching the market in order to achieve optimum sales, also figure out who is the right person for your products and how to connect with them. Earn their trust and loyalty. Furthermore, optimize your content and marketing strategies to ensure that your e-commerce store is targeting the relevant audience, as well as improving your presence and reach. One thing you must bear in mind is that the first and the second quarter of the year are not entirely uneventful. There are several popular holidays that give you the opportunity to sell your products, meeting the specific needs of people during those events. Plan your budgets, inventories, promotions, and sales around these holidays beforehand. Nowadays, the worst times of the year to sell online tends to be subjective to each business and industry. It is very much dependent on a number of internal and external factors that you can either monitor and manage or engage with and control. You need to truly understand your industry along with the e-commerce industry in general. Keep your site's performance up to date. Ensure it is user-friendly. Knowing your audience gives you all the information you might need to decide what to sell, but that is still not enough. These days, people are madly chasing the trends. A trend can significantly magnify sales, while others can simply finish off a product line. It is absolutely critical for you to understand and stay on top of social trends in order to stay attuned to the market. Here's a good one for you. When sales go down, the obvious thing that comes to your mind is running promotions. That does not always work. Indeed, running discounts dramatically increases your sales, but they might even build your rapport, but only till it is not overdone. As we discussed before, the e-commerce multi-channel business needs to be on the top of the game from all ends. There is so much that needs to be done, making it impossible for you to have enough resources for a business to handle everything and still make profits. Let's consider a few solutions that we just discussed in a bit detail. So the first one is going multi-channel. So when it comes to deciding which marketplace best suits your business needs, here's a no-brainer. Amazon. Amazon is a marketplace with global presence that opens up your Shopify business to over 300 million active customers across the globe. The next one is that you need to understand your audience, figure out your buyer persona. There are several factors, several traits that you need to figure out in order to draw a perfect outline of who your buyer is: age, gender, ethnicity, income, education, etc. In order to understand who your audience is, you can perform several researches. You have the data on your Shopify store where you understand what is the purchase history of your audience. You can research the generic audience of your market online. You can also run incentivized surveys. You should know, as I have said before, you should know the industry. Then the most important thing that comes to having a successful that you should be careful about when it comes to having a successful Amazon Shopify business is having an optimal content and marketing strategy. There are so many aspects to content and marketing strategies. Apart from that, you need to be mindful of your site's performance. CedCommerce has experts who can help you build your store from ground up or optimize your store's performance with great ease. Now you can elevate your Amazon Shopify business with a product from CedCommerce. Reaching 300 million active customers across the globe right from your Shopify store has never been this effortless. The Amazon by CedCommerce is a one-stop solution for sellers looking for an easy, fast, no-fuss selling from a single space without an intermediate platform to deal with. With the app, enjoy the optimal multi-channel selling, which focuses more on profits while saving a ton of time. Automated inventory management and order management are designed such that they allow operations to take place at one spot with minimal manual efforts. Leverage unique high-in-demand features that will help you stand above your competition. Amazon by CedCommerce is available in all parts of the world, and the services are expanding rapidly. While the Amazon by CedCommerce app will be made available to even more parts of the world, there are more things to look forward to. The first 2 quarters of 2022 will bring you the prospects to dramatically improve your product's discovery through some more enhanced tools and solutions. CedCommerce is committed to help sellers make most of their Amazon selling journey, get discovered with product data optimization, and rank better organically. Shoxtec Suspension, an auto parts store, has been working with CedCommerce for years now, and they have seen remarkable results for their Amazon, Walmart, as well as eBay business. We have a short message from Max, the owner of Shoxtec Suspension. Being one of the valuable partners of CedCommerce, Max and our team have formed an emotional bond. He has been vocal in sharing his opinion about the customer support and development team and how well his multi-channel business spread over 4 different platforms is performing with a little help from CedCommerce. In his words, his inventories across the platforms are perfectly perfect. Thank you, Max, for sharing your experience with us. Apart from automation and integration services, CedCommerce offers a wide range of additional support to help your business attain optimum reach and sales. All right, so it's time for your questions. Before we address your queries, let me introduce an expert from CedCommerce who is here today, Anupriya Singh, Lead Business Relations Manager. She is here in addition to Crystal in order to help you resolve your issues and answer your questions. So let's start. So would you people, is there any question from any one of you? Would you people mind sharing your queries?
If anybody has any question for me or any question related to CedCommerce, please let us know in the Q&A so that we can, answer them. Anything related to Amazon, if you are selling on Amazon, if you're a Shopify seller. Was it very clear what Umi said related to CedCommerce and how CedCommerce can help you become a much better Amazon seller, or do you want us to go through it again? I think the presentations were so good that we don't have any questions. Like, we did a really good job.
Well, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was a really wonderful session. I'm very glad that all of you joined us. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.